It is time for another episode of the Cultural Hall. It is an Articles of News episode. She's back from all over the place, but we're not going to talk a whole ton about it because
We don't
that's
want to make
yeah,
people mad.
we don't want to make people mad. We will talk a little bit about it. Quick reminder before I forget, don't forget that on Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m., it is the Chuckarama in Salt Lake. Already getting people that have emailed and said, "Hey, I'm going to be there." I've had
I'm
three
so
people.
sad. Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. I'm not going to be there because I love Chuckarama.
Yeah. You're a huge chuck. It's the rolls for me, rolls and gravy, and anytime I can just eat so much of that
Yeah,
plus soft
yeah.
serve. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the roast, like the roast cut off with some mashed potatoes and gravy. I will
hmm
eat that all day long.
Are
So
you a
good.
separate pile person or do you do it all together?
Well, I put them in two separate piles, like the
Mm-hmm.
meat, the potatoes, the gravy on top, but every bite has
hmm
all of those items in it. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? So like
Yeah.
I cut a piece of meat, then I scoop up mashed potatoes and gravy and
It
I'm so
makes sense, but you don't need to do it that way.
I prefer, but it looks so much nicer. I can be very controlling of
Yeah.
how it's done if I do it like that. So,
I just want to throw this out there as an alternative way for you to try it.
okay,
And the collective you, not you specifically. You start with the meat on the bottom, and this works for Thanksgiving dinner too, right?
okay, yep.
Thanksgiving's a little different because if you go meat on the bottom, then you do the layer of stuffing, and you take the spoon and you smash it.
Yeah,
Then you do the layer of the mashed potatoes,
yep.
like almost like a seven-layer dip, right?
Got it.
And then you do the layer of the
Oh, yes.
corn, and then you
Yep.
just inundate it with
With
gravy,
mashed potatoes and
right?
gravy. Well,
And then line the plate with rolls. My mouth is literally watering as I talk about this. And then you don't have to go, oh, a little from this side and a little from this side. You just cut in.
it's all ready to
It's
go.
already there.
No effort. Yeah, love it. I'll try that.
So you'll be missed.
I'm so sad.
There may be a guest we haven't decided. If you would like to attend, please do so. Even if you don't RSVP, but just let us know if you're coming. Contact at theculturalhall.com and come and see us. A shout out. I can't remember who the third person is, but I know Lenny is coming and John. So there's no ladies. It's so far just four dudes at the Chuckarama. So if any ladies would like to, oh, your sister's coming, Megan
Yeah,
and Mitch. That's right.
Megan,
Yep,
she's
she'll be
coming
there.
for sure. I hope the Pharaoh joins you. I
I
think
hope
that
so too.
And next time you do it, I sure hope I'm available because
Yeah.
I would fly right up there if I could.
Well, uh, I hope so too. But it is confirmed that I am coming to the AZ in spring for the Easter pageant. We have had
Yeah.
more conversations around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And
Yep.
you have a place to stay with us if you
Yeah.
need it.
I
So,
think I'm going to make him pay me for my hotel, so we're good.
oh, good. Like who? Like
I'm just
someone's
teasing.
like,
No, I'm
oh,
just teasing. I don't know. I'm sure that here's the deal. I've only been to Arizona like really. I went one time during the Olympics in 2002 because
okay.
the way the media here in Utah was like, you're not going to want to be here. I
Yeah.
sort of bought into that. And so we
Yeah.
went, I was in college. We went on a road trip, had a friend, recent convert of the church down in Arizona, and we pitched a tent on his front yard and
Oh,
stayed the night in Arizona.
I remember that story. I think you've
Yeah.
told it once on
Yeah.
here before.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's literally about the only time I've ever been to Arizona. So if I need to sleep in your front yard, I can do it in April.
Yeah,
It's like
for
1,000 degrees outside in April.
sure. Yeah, no. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. Yay, we'll do
Yeah.
something fun here.
I want to find out. I don't know if it coincides. And already look what we've done. Not talking about the stuff. I hope. I'm fingers crossed. Hope that it coincides with spring training for the baseball teams. But I think that might be a little too late.
It might be. I don't know what the dates of Easter are this year. Like if Easter ends up, end of March, beginning of April, you're good.
Mhm.
But if it's more like end of April,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
probably too
not
soon.
end of April. That much I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So fingers
Then
crossed.
you
We'll
might be
see.
in luck. Yeah.
We'll see.
Cool,
We'll
cool.
see. We don't know. You've been all over the world. Anything maybe tangentially gospel related so we can cram it in and we can say that's why we talked about
Yes, actually, sort
it?
of. So we visited 5 countries in Europe. We
hmm
started in Poland, then Slovakia, Austria. Oh, I missed one. Hungary, Austria, and then the Czech Republic. And during all of this, conference was on, we were listening to it in the car. We had a lot of good discussions. We had our two youngest kids with us. It was really, really great. And through the last couple weeks with the Michigan fire and the Charlie Kirk murder, not Charlie Kirk, no, sorry, the Michigan thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
we've had a lot of discussions about the amount of people who are against the LDS Church, who think
Sure.
we are not Christian, and that's just been a huge thing, especially in the social media sphere that my children are in,
Mhm.
and one thing that was so interesting as we went to cathedral, basilica after basilica, that's like, I love visiting those. One thing that my kids noticed after like a week of visiting all of these, one of them was like, why do Christians why do they believe in the Trinity as being one? Like, why do they believe God and Jesus and the Holy Ghost are one when
Mhm.
every single depiction in every cathedral we've been to and every basilica shows like the dove and it shows Jesus and many of them show God the Father and
Mhm.
they're like it doesn't make sense. And I was like that's a really good point. And so we had a lot of really interesting conversations about why is that a belief of Christians as a whole that they all are one when they themselves are depicting them as three separate beings. So it was interesting, really interesting, and that they brought it up, my 17 and
Sure.
15-year-old. And anyhow, but we loved it was so funny because I really wanted to go to church while I was there. I'm like,
Right.
oh, we go to church, but we had tickets in Vienna to go to the Spanish riding school. They have these amazing white stallions, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be probably the only time that church would be held, and I was so sad. And then my son's like, it's general conference, and they probably have that in Europe too. So I'm sure there's no church we could attend. And I was like, oh yeah, okay,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
no,
feel so
we're good.
bad
We're
anymore.
good. We're good.
Yeah, we're
Guilt
good.
away.
So yeah, there we go. But
And did you finally get to the point where you told them, well, what happened was they had a meeting like General Conference where they decided that they were going to make God and Jesus and the Holy Ghost one, and that's why we do it? Is that
I mean, we didn't get to the really the nitty gritty because I don't have a lot of my own knowledge about that, and I
sure?
don't actually know why.
Sure.
Um, I didn't do a lot of deep diving, but other than to say it is a really interesting thing to think about. And we actually have business partners in Alabama who are very Christian in their faith. I don't recall Methodist, maybe I don't know. And we had a discussion with them a few years ago at dinner about them being three separate beings and about the Trinity. And when we questioned them on it, like why do you think they would all be one? Why wouldn't they
Mhm.
be three separate beings all working for the same purpose? They sat there and they didn't know. They
Hmm.
were like, that's actually a really good question.
Yeah.
And not that I'm trying to make them question their own faith or
Sure.
but it's like, why is it weird? I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyway,
Or at the very least, like, why do I think that? I don't
yeah,
know. I've never thought about that.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
it's like the Trinity is like a cookie. You've got you've got the one layer, that's just the cookie itself. But crumble's a great example of this because there's no crumble cookie that's just a plain cookie. No, there's God or the frosting, if you will.
Yes.
Uh you'd make it this big thing. You're like, and then
And the
there's
sprinkles are the Holy
there's the
Ghost.
sprinkles or the cookie crumbles or whatever the latest thing that you're cramming in that's always so delicious. It makes me so angry because
I
I'd
know.
love to have a crumble cookie and be like, this is garbage. I don't
Yeah.
crave this. Never
Yeah.
happens.
Well, I'm
Literally.
glad that's never happened. It's never happened to me either. And we're actually testing something right now in our store that is going to launch in a few weeks.
Hmm.
And it is the best cookie I've ever had in my entire life.
Now you can't tease something like that and not tell me more. Can you tell me more about it?
I think so.
Okay.
I can't give many details. It's a thin, thin cookie, like
Okay.
really thin,
Okay.
big, thin, like crispy on the outside, a little
Uh-huh.
bit chewy, and so buttery. Like,
Oh,
because like a crumble cookie is so good. I love them all.
yes.
But it's not like a homemade cookie. So
No.
here now you have like homemade, tastes like butter,
Hmm.
brown sugar, and a little bit of salt. Oh my
Okay.
goodness. It's coming. So good.
And any other sort of news? There was some news. I don't even know that we can talk about it at all about you down in Arizona as far as Crumble goes, and like stores
Oh,
and locations. Can we
yeah.
talk about that?
So we were looking at buying three locations, and
No,
I
didn't
did a
happen. It
lot.
sounds like.
Well, and it was just totally, I was doing a lot of praying. I take everything to the temple. I'm a big temple goer.
Hmm.
And I was like, and I also ask sometimes for like, let me be hit over the head with this answer because I don't know what to do.
Sure.
And it really came down to would this make our lives better? As a family, would we be happier?
Sure.
And at the end of the day, no, it just wouldn't. Like, would we make more money? Yes, we
Sure.
would. We would have more money, but the amount of work that I would need to do to take over these stores and kind of like get them back on track and whatever would probably be a good year of
Mm.
me being really absent from my family again, which I did that before, and
Hmm.
I don't want to do that again.
Sure.
So we decided not to. And what's interesting is my answer came in that the next 2 weeks sales were so low. Like,
Mm.
I don't know why. It's probably the economy. I mean, there's all those
Sure.
kinds of factors in there, but sales were so low that I'm like, I don't know that I want to be stressed about sales for 6 stores instead of three. And
Sure.
always wondering, was this a good idea? Am I
Sure.
paying off my investment? And da da da.
Sure.
So
Sure.
anyway, we decided not to do it. And I think the owners were a little bit bummed. They really wanted us to buy them for
Hmm.
various reasons. And I'm really happy that we're not doing it.
Nice. I will, though, say that I appreciate, and it is subtle, that you're wearing a Crumble sweater today, that you've got the Crumble color
The pink and
sweater.
white
Yeah, the pink and white.
and
It's
my
your,
pink
it's your
Stanley.
whole life. It's
Yeah.
it. Come on. Other things that maybe we should mention, coming up in the news, we not only will do news, articles of news, that is, but we both have enjoyed. Let me speak for myself. I enjoyed very much the Macy um, from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I
Yeah.
enjoyed her book. I listened
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah.
listened to her book and enjoyed it. And so there will be a book report
Yep.
in the second half of articles of news as well. Is there anything else that you think we should kind of? We'll talk about Mitt Romney's sister-in-law. That
Yeah.
will be a thing. And I
Are we
did
going
a
to
little
talk?
bit more of a deep dive into that.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about the new first presidency, or have you already?
Yes. No,
Okay.
we need to. We need to. And that I was quoted in the Salt Lake Tribune about it. So how
No,
about
you
that?
were.
I was, in fact. So we'll get to all that coming back in the second half of Articles of News. Let me take just a moment to tell you all about bestdjinutah.com. That is the website where you can learn all about me. Oh, sure, you probably feel like you know me, but you know me in the cultural hall sense. I have a DJ company now, 6 of us strong. Great event hosts, MCs, and DJs that can be able to make whatever event you have coming up absolutely spectacular, and hope you will reach out to us. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute, Richie. I don't live in Utah. Would you travel? Absolutely, I would travel. Would they travel? Absolutely, they would travel. Whatever your event is, doesn't have to be a wedding or a community event. We can do all sorts of things. I can teach you line dancing. I can dance with you. We can do partner dancing. We can do all kinds of things, but we can't do any of it if you don't hit me up. You can go to bestdjinutah.com. You can fill out the form to get more information or get a quote, and then I will get right back to you. Find out why I'm so busy and why sometimes we don't get episodes of the Cultural Hall. It's all because of bestdjinutah.com. Here in the second half of Articles of News, we do actual articles of news. Hit it, Peter.
You can't lose articles of news.
And away we go. So we'll start here because not everyone loves the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. We'll just candidly say this is when we're going to talk about it. I want to do the Dancing with the Stars bit first, and then we'll talk about Macy's book.
Okay, sounds good. I have to be honest with you. When I saw that Jen and Whitney were both going to be on Dancing with the Stars, I think we even talked about it when it happened. I was like, are you kidding me? Give me. I have to say, though, I'm a big fan. I haven't watched Dancing with the Stars in years, but
Sure.
this season we are, because we also love Robert Irwin. My daughters love him. So we've been watching faithfully, and I have grown to like Whitney way more than I ever did before. I didn't like her in season 1. I liked her better in season 2.
She was the villain in 1.
She was.
Yeah.
She was the villain, and she just kind of was annoying, and she also dressed weird.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I don't know. As
You
season 2
judgmental, yes. Though
I
she
know,
did.
I know,
She
I'm
did.
very, I know. But she is really, first of all, fantastic dancer.
Mhm.
And I think she's really genuine, and she just is kind of winning people over in that
Yep.
show. And I think that's really great for her. And it's actually been really enjoyable to see her just shine. And I think that's phenomenal. It's great. And then you have Jen Affleck, who has been doing very well as
Please
also.
pray for her. Please pray for her, says her husband.
Yes, yes. she was quite sick leading up to this performance last night as we're recording this, and she ended up doing pretty well. Last night was dedication night, which
Mhm.
do you watch Dancing with the Stars? I'm gonna think.
I have. No,
Okay.
I have for sure.
Last night's episode was, I've never experienced anything like it. I cried through the entire show. My son was crying. We're all crying. I mean, every single one because they were dedicating it to someone special in their life.
Mhm.
And it was so good. Anyway, so Jen dedicated it to her mom, I believe. And she was, yeah, very, very sick leading up to it. Her mom was in town helping her home cook meals, et cetera, to get her strong enough. And she
Mhm.
ended up doing really well. I didn't know that she was that sick until I read the article, but she was definitely really able to get past that, and she did really well. And
Yeah.
they actually didn't even vote anyone off last night, and
Mhm.
I was really glad because I'm like, after every single performance made everyone cry, and it was so touching to then have
Yes.
sent someone home would have
Yeah,
been,
there's no way they'll do that.
yeah, yeah. So that was a big surprise, and we were just like so happy at the end when they didn't vote anyone off. So they're both doing great, and I think it's a great move for their careers, and they seem to be really enjoying it and really happy.
Yeah, I'll get into that as a little bit more as we talk about Macy's book because
Mhm.
there's an interesting. I've had a shift of feelings about all of the women on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives after reading that book, and now I'm trying to look at everything through a different lens. There has been shade that has been thrown on Whitney because they're like, oh, it's not fair. Her partner is the backup dancer from the Eras tour with Taylor Swift. Yawn.
Yeah, that's Jen's
Oh,
partner, I
okay.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's her partner?
Mark Ballas.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
So they're like I guess he's won a bunch, or he's one of the
Mhm.
better dancers as far as the pros go, and she's trained in dance, and so everyone's like, oh, I can't believe they would do
Yeah.
that, whatever, right? We can't just be like, yeah, of course the person trained in dance is going to do better at a dancing show than the son of the crocodile hunter. Not to say
Right.
that he's not doing a great job, but I mean, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
of course, the trained dancer person is going to have a good time.
Yeah.
I, I, uh, I am a horrible person in that when I saw everything like pray for Jen because she needs to do well on her performance, I just was like, okay, okay, pray for her, I guess, but they're I don't know. Like pray for, the people in Palestine. Okay, I can get on board with that. Pray for the people in Michigan. All right. Pray so that my wife can do well on her dancing competitive show. Okay. I guess I'll extend it, but they just don't feel the same. Or I wish
Right.
that we could be like, could you please capital P pray for the people of Palestine and maybe lowercase p pray for the dancers on Dancing with the Stars? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Especially when we always thoughts and prayers everything, I kind of go,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
Yeah. Then it becomes disingenuous, right? Like, yeah.
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 Are we Whitney going to take the whole thing?
I think she might.
Yeah,
And to your point, there were other people on the show that are trained in dance.
yeah.
Hilaria Baldwin,
Hmm.
Alec Baldwin's wife, was trained in dance, and she was voted off last week. She also thinks there's huge, like people are against her. I don't know. But
She's
then,
the Baldwin.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there were a couple of others. There was one who was a singer with a group. I don't, and she was a dancer. She's already gone.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, she does have a little bit of a advantage, but I think it's going to be between she and Robert
Okay.
Irwin.
Hmm.
So that's my
See, and
prediction.
my hope, if ABC knows what's good for their network, it's the last two are Jen and Whitney, and they
Yeah.
make everyone in the Secret Lives pick a side. And like they side
Hey.
bet it and say, listen, if you lose, you're out
Yeah.
of mom talk, some crazy, stupid, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Would it? Would that
No.
be fun?
I-
Uh, so then the book,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Macy's book. I had to tell you, which my wife took me aside today for a second and said, let me ask you something. Do you find Macy to be really attractive? Is that why you care about this book? And I said, no, I don't. Anything, and we have talked about a lot of books. In fact, if you remember, I think it was Carrie who said, when you talk about books, make sure you give us a caveat as to whether or not it's going to be from the best of books or the worst of
Right.
books.
Right.
Macy's book is from the worst of books, and I can't even remember the title right now. Told you so?
Oh,
Is that
I
what it
can't.
is? Told you
Yes,
so? Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
It's got the language, and it's not an easy read in that some of the things that she experiences in her life are just terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, like the worst of terrible, the
Yeah.
worst of worst. Um, but I find it fascinating to hear how different people live their faith and
Yes.
or lose their faith and or find their faith, and especially
Right.
where there's some sort of whether it's someone that's converting to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints or someone who is a member and fell away for a little while or falls away or whatever the thing. I found Bad Mormon to be very fascinating. The
Me too.
Motorhome Prophecies, I thought
Yes.
Educated was great. All of
Yes.
these things that are just little bits of things. It's why I like, Ruby Frankie, and it's why I like, um, you know, why can't I think Ammon Bundy? It's why I think all of that because I have something similar to all of those people, and I have not led a revolt in a wildlife refuge in Oregon, and I have not killed my children, and I have not, all of these different things that these other
Yeah.
people have done. I think it's a fascinating thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell me, what was your sort of takeaway from Told You So?
Yeah, so I just have to mention as she was talking about her sweet 16 birthday party, I was like, this sounds like me. Like her whole birthday party was like my life. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like 300 people showed up. Someone pulled a knife on someone else, like at my house, at my
Jeez.
birthday party. So I was like, I was kind of putting myself a little bit into her shoes. I'm like, I wasn't a star tennis player. I played
Sure.
soccer, but in a lot of ways, I was like, I definitely kind of lived a similar lifestyle to her. She was still in high school, very goody goody, as far as that goes. But I found there was a lot of sexual talk in the book, which I was not surprised about, but I was happy that I was listening to it on my AirPods and not in the car with my children listening to it
Sure.
necessarily,
Sure.
because she definitely gave a lot of details. And I don't know if I'm just naive. I went to BYU. I lived in the dorms. I had no idea people were partying as much as she said that they were partying.
Hmm.
And she even was surprised when she went to go visit BYU. She was a tennis player for BYU. Her sister was the tennis coach. When she went to visit, she was like, wait, they all went and partied and they were drinking and they were doing drugs. And like, this is not what I thought
Right.
BYU was like. And she went ahead and went there. And I felt really badly for what she went through and what she suffered with these young men that took advantage of her and like awful, really awful things. And she didn't get into like really gory details, but very easily we could, figure out what she was
Sure.
saying. And
Sure.
I felt really, really sad for what she went through. And then when she got pregnant out of wedlock and had to leave BYU, I felt like her parents were a little bit unfair in them like pulling her away from her boyfriend and not allowing her to be there with him. I've actually always liked Macy on this show as far as like which of the wives do I like the best? She's probably one of my favorites. I've always
Hmm.
just kind of like she seemed the most normal and genuine. So I've always really liked her, but this made me even like have so much more sympathy for her that um, I don't know if I'm spoiling anything or if people know or if they're gonna, but her boyfriend was killed in a car accident. And I did not realize that that happened while he was texting her. Like
Yeah.
he literally was sending her a text, and that is why the accident happened.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, her having to live with that, and gosh, I don't know. I just felt such sympathy for her, and I feel like she's gotten herself into this amazing position. She has her business. She's been an influencer. She's supporting her family, and it just was really, I really enjoyed it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's funny to me as I listened to the different parts, and you sort of alluded to it. One of her boyfriends, which I think it was unfortunate. She names him Dick, and I think it's sort of a joke. But some of the ways that when she references him, some of the sentence structure makes me kind of chuckle because
Yeah,
I'm 4 years old, and anytime someone says Dick, I'm like,
I know.
so there were some times like that where I was like, if you would have called him Dave, this wouldn't be so weirdly distracting in my brain the
Right.
way you phrased that, what you just said.
Yeah.
That's just a brief aside as far as that goes. But like hearing and finding like different heroes and villains within her life is what I thought was interesting, right? Like she talks about she's a Division I athlete at BYU, and of course she has to be living the honor code, but she has to be pregnant, or she gets pregnant, and then she goes to talk to Tom Homo, who is no longer the athletic director at BYU, and you're just like, oh no, is Tom Homo going to be? Is this going to be the way that we're going to be like, yes, this is how members of the church should show up, or is this going to be a thing where you go, oh
Yeah.
no, why is that the way that it was? And I'll let you read to find out how that went. But then you hear about her like stepping down the repentance process with her home bishop, and you're like, oh, is this going to be the experience that she needs, or is this gonna, oh, that's how that went. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And surprises along the way as to who was, you know, not even like lax, but like more understanding or more
Right.
supportive, regardless of what happened.
Yeah.
I was fascinated with that. That I kind of went, note to self, don't be like those people,
Yep.
or note to self, this is how you engage in something like this, and surprised along that way. The other thing that I thought was particularly fascinating is towards the end of the book, she talks about how she knows about her relationship with God. She keeps her covenants, and she's sealed in the temple. And you do not see any part of that, or very little part of that, in the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Yeah.
And so this is where my mind is changed. I think what we see in Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is a complete put on character by most of them.
I think that's a really, really good observation. I think you're right. I think to them, it's more that's a character they're portraying.
Yes.
And it's interesting. I had a very similar feeling. And especially when she said that part, I'm like, I do believe she's keeping her covenants as best as she can. And I do think that she believes in the gospel of Jesus Christ. Like I could see that,
Mhm.
I think we all make mistakes and make choices in our lives that take us one way or another. And she realizes the choices she made. But at the end of the day, she knows that this is where her heart is. And yeah, I think you're right.
I also like, and we'll sort of wrap it here. If ever you wanted to, if you were just curious, like, hey, how does a life and someone's daily choices, how does that affect where their life goes? I felt like this was a great book to be able to hear about, where it's like, oh, here's the choice. Oh, you did that. Oh, this is where this is. And I think all of our lives kind of have those choices. And if we all wrote our book, we,
Yeah.
we would see
Yeah.
that kind of thing within our life. But it really is a thing where you go, it isn't, if I can use the old cliche, because we got to wrap it up in a Mormonism, it is the cliche of the frog would jump out of the hot water,
Hmm.
but he settles in when the water is just a little bit warm, and slowly the temperature gets turned up, and then quickly you can find yourself, you know,
Exactly.
in hot water, as it
Yeah.
were. So,
Yeah.
not a book for you, Carrie, necessarily, but I really enjoyed it. It's Told You So. You
Yeah.
can get it on Audible. It's her reading it. I don't like her voice. That
Yeah.
distracted the crap out of me, but luckily at 1.4 it eliminates some
Right.
of it, and I was able to get through it in my drive and back from Moab. So
Nice. I'm a 1.4 listener as well, and it did help for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. But there's
Can't
several times where
imagine
I'm like,
listening. Hmm.
don't drop off your sentences. It's just
Right.
it's you're being lazy in the way that you're reading right now. Ugh.
Yeah. Mhm. Yep. Anyway,
Uh,
yeah, I give it 5 stars. I would definitely I would recommend it.
Tell me, the first presidency, we knew it was coming.
Yep.
We figured the prophet would be President Oaks, or as someone I saw on one of the articles today, because we're always Dallin H. Oaks,
Yeah.
they called it President Hoax, Hoaks, and I thought that was,
That's
so it was
funny.
Dallin Hoax.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
So Dallin H. Oaks.
Yeah. Do we all feel so bad for Elder Stevenson when he called him Dallas
Yeah.
Harris Oaks? Like that was really sad. Anyway,
And
yeah,
then you
and
hear, was it, who was it that corrected him? Because you hear someone go, Dallin.
Yeah, but I don't think he heard it. He
No.
anyway, yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I my predictions were Elder Holland, I would have loved, and then Christofferson was my number two pick. So
Uh-huh.
I got one, so I'm
Yeah.
feeling good about that
Good
because
for
my little
you.
sister didn't get either.
So
Um,
take that. Was that the Mitch?
the Mitch, yeah,
Yeah.
hers
Okay.
was Uchtdorf and Bednar, but
Yeah. It's not going to be Uchtdorf. Why do people in the church not recognize that Uchtdorf was part of the first presidency, did something that we're not allowed to talk about, and that's why
yes,
he's not going to be in the first presidency again?
that I'm right there with you. That's exactly what I have thought. I'm like, I think something, nothing, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not going to try to speculate. But I will say, I love Iring. I mean, he's amazing. He's older. I just was like, come on, Elder Holland needs one chance in the first presidency before he dies. But
Yeah.
anyway, um, I love Elder Christofferson. He's always been one that I've really, really loved. I think he will be, with having having his brother Tom that has experienced a different lifestyle and whatnot, like him to President Oaks. I think they're a good balance for
Yeah.
each other. And I will say, I have a little bit of a friendship with Tom Christopherson. So I messaged him yesterday. I was like, "Did you know?" He's like, "No, I had no idea. He didn't tell me." I was like, "Oh, that's so funny." But I'm excited for it. I think it'll be, Christopherson, he will be the face of the first presidency when we
Yeah.
need anyone traveling anywhere. I mean, it's going
Yeah.
to be him. So
Yeah.
he's awesome.
I think it's I thought it would be a Bednar, and then the other one was up for whoever the Lord wanted. Here is my quote from the Salt Lake Tribune. As
Yes.
the press conference wrapped up, got the telephone call from what's his name? From the writer. The guy that wrote this. Shoot, sorry, guy that wrote this. I can't remember your name off the top of my head. He's newish.
Okay.
I said, quote, and listen, now I'm quoting myself, said Stedman. I feel like Iring is very, very sweet and so soft spoken. He is the emotional part of the first presidency. And
Yep.
so I knew there would be that because
Yeah.
Elder Oaks is so legalistic and
Yeah.
very that we had to have an Elder Holland, an Elder Iring, someone that could be like, let the lawyers speak the lawyer because some people need that, and I just love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on in my arms, and I'll tell you, that I love you because I love you. Um, so I was excited about that. I was not at all surprised that we didn't get the new apostle
Yeah.
at that time. Elder Oaks is going to be, what is this meeting for? This accomplishes this. This
Yeah.
is what we do. So I think that's what we'll see moving forward as far as that goes.
When do you think the new apostle will be announced?
I,
It's not going to be April, right? It'll be
no,
before that.
no.
Yeah,
I
that's
so
what.
I think they've got to let the news cycle go with this,
Okay.
and I could see very easily next Monday morning.
Okay.
We called in Elder Dubé, and he said, "Can it be Elder Casse?" And there we go, and whatever the thing is, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think it will be much
Too
longer.
long. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
thinking within a month. So
yeah.
we'll see.
Because you start to get into the holidays. If we don't do it by Thanksgiving, then we're not doing it until
January.
26. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, Here are some fun things. Did you know about President Oaks? Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Do you know what the H stands for?
I believe it stands for Harris, right?
It does. It's his mother's maiden name. She was a great granddaughter of Emer Harris, the brother of Martin Harris, who was one of the three witnesses.
Very
So,
cool.
so I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
At 9 months old, he was in the car with his mother and her sister-in-law when they collided with another vehicle. Baby Dallin was catapulted from the car and landed on the concrete street, miraculously, only with a few bruises on his head.
Wow.
His father, we knew that his father died when he was really young, did not know that his father died of tuberculosis.
Yeah,
He and his siblings, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I didn't know that either. I was really surprised to just learn that.
He and his siblings were raised by their maternal grandparents for the next couple of years, while their mother was at Columbia University earning her master's degree. So think about that in a time, his mom, this woman who just unreal and uncharacteristic of a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in that time
In
period,
that
getting
time.
her master's from Columbia.
Because what would that have been like the 50s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible.
Maybe even earlier, maybe like
Yeah,
the
maybe
40s, right?
40s.
Because he's
Yeah.
90, so
91.
30, yeah. So yeah, it would have been late 30s, early 40s.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I love
In
it.
eighth grade, he played the oboe. That's one of those small double reeds in the school band. By summer, he joined the Payson Summer Band and was paid to play in weekly concerts and holiday parades. And his mother arranged for him to take oboe lessons from a teacher at Brigham Young University. How cool would it be? You saw President Nelson speak Spanish and playing the piano on the things and whatever. He's just like,
Playing his Lobo.
never had one lesson. Be-do-do-do-do-do. Or just like playing, O Tannenbaum on his oboe. I would love
That would
that.
be amazing.
Other interesting facts about President Oaks. From a young age, he excelled at reading. In ninth grade, he wrote in his diary that he visited the library, checked out 2 books, came home, got ready for bed, finished a 300-page book in about 2.5 hours.
Wow.
He went to the University of Chicago Law School. He clerked for Chief Justice Earl Warren of the United States Supreme Court. One night after dropping off a ward member at her home in Chicago, President Oaks and his wife June were approached by a teenage hoodlum, which, by the way, the LDS Church is the only place that we still say hoodlum
Hoodlum?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a hoodlum. He stuck a gun into President Oaks' stomach and demanded money. President Oaks had no cash, and the teen eventually left. President Oaks credits the Lord with protecting him that night. Number 8, he was the president of BYU from 1971 to 1980. During this time, he and his family lived on campus in the president's home, and they had a Great Dane named Gretchen, which is awesome.
That's so cool. Gretchen. Have you
Yeah.
ever heard of a dog named Gretchen?
No, but
Especially not a Great Dane.
I love it.
I know.
I
It's so
I don't
cool.
know if President Nelson even had a dog.
I know.
Major, what's the name of Joseph Smith's dog's name? Major, hold on.
No.
Joseph Smith's dog's name, something like that. I'm close. It is, yeah, Major. God,
Major.
right there. Um, yeah, I would love the idea or the vision of it's the first presidency's office,
Mhm.
or we're getting into the assembly hall and President Oaks is leaning back and he's just got his Great Dane under
Great
hand. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I don't think he wants a dog anymore. Doesn't have time for a dog. Dog deserves someone who's going to be around. But he served as a Utah Supreme Court justice from 1981 to 84. And then just a month after President Nelson was sustained as, or called, I should say, as an apostle, he was called, but they were both sustained on the same day. That's why he is the prophet right after President Nelson. So those are 10 interesting facts about President
Love
Oak's
it.
life.
Did you know today was his wife's birthday?
No.
Yeah, maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. I just saw it pop up on Instagram. They did a cute little video. They were like talking about each other and their little life together. It was really sweet. So,
What's interesting about that is his daughter, Jenny Oaks Baker, plays the violin, and
yes.
she did part of a soundtrack for a movie that Patrick Stewart was in that a member of the church directed. This is probably a decade ago or so, maybe a little less.
Really?
I will tell you what it is called. It was similar to how Love Actually all takes place on Christmas Eve
Yes.
or something like that.
Uh, Patrick Stewart was in it.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart was in it, but only briefly. But the big thing was Patrick Stewart's in this movie, and so everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!" But then you go and he's in an elevator where he didn't have to do a scene with anyone else, and I'm sure that they paid him handsomely for this thing. Whatever. It's called Christmas Eve. That's
Oh,
God, I would have
hey,
got there.
yeah. Yeah, you know that.
It came out in 2015, so now 10 years ago. I got the opportunity to meet now President Oaks and his wife,
Cool.
their daughter at a screening of that film. It's a power outage that traps 6 people on Christmas Eve.
Aw.
And John Hader was in it. This was when he was riding high on Napoleon Dynamite
Napoleon. Yeah.
stuff, and yeah, yeah.
That's
I
so, I'm
remember
gonna have to
I
watch
remember
it.
coming away from it that it was like Patrick Stewart's in it for about 30 seconds in an elevator scene, and you're like, okay, so he's not really in this movie. We got him on a soundstage where we were able to do it. But it's the director of The Other Side of Heaven
Oh, okay.
that did
Okay.
that film. Christmas Eve. Watch
Yeah,
it this Christmas Eve with your family.
I will. I love a cheesy Christmas movie.
And I'm going to find the photo because Molly Mormon, Jenny Noonan Dye, she and her husband, the Reverend John Dye,
Yep.
were in that photo as well as me and my dad, and the
Oh,
prophet of the church. So that's cool.
cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Track it down. What other? I sent you some news stories. Are there any other news stories of what I sent you? We do have a little bit of time to get some
Yeah.
stories in. Anything that you were like, yeah, we got to talk about this.
Well, really quick, not a story that you sent to me, but Mitt Romney's sister-in-law was found dead on Friday, which is really, really sad. She was in her 60s. She is in California. She was found either having jumped or fallen from a parking garage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still under investigation,
Sure.
as far as I know. But what I did read yesterday is her husband had just recently filed for divorce. So I
About
don't
4 months ago. Yeah.
so super sad. You never want to hear that. But anyway, so that's a little bit Mormon adjacent as far as that news goes.
Hold
Would
on
you?
though. Let me add in on that story a little bit. So this is according to the New York Post
Okay.
or the New York Sun, or maybe Adam. I read this as well. Apparently, this is the third marriage for Mitt's older brother. The brother is 81, I want to say, and the woman was 63, 64.
Okay.
It was his third wife, and he was a lawyer. At one time, he tried to be the attorney general for Michigan, and was
Okay.
going to try and maybe run for Senate or something like that, have a career that way. He, the way he filed for divorce was trying to make it so that his wife would get nothing within the
Oh,
divorce.
oh, really?
So the article goes into the way that it's crafted, that there wouldn't be alimony, that there would be no division of assets, that there would be none of this, the way that he filed for this divorce.
Oh,
So
bad.
at the very least, sort of crummy of this guy,
Yeah.
because when
Yeah.
you're married, it's part of what you're doing. It's not fun. It's
No.
not fun that when you get divorced, you go 50-50 and go, man, I really wish we wouldn't have done this way.
Yeah.
Uh, but at very most, maybe there's some sketchy stuff going on,
Yeah. Yeah.
allegedly.
That's unfortunate. I hadn't read that. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Mm.
So more details coming out about that, I'm sure. And unfortunately, for the two of them, that is the deceased and also for him, it will get more attention because Romney and because, of the proximity of Mitt to that
Yeah.
story. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, you were going somewhere and then I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
The next thing, I actually thought this was interesting. There's an update to the LDS Member Tools app.
Hmm.
It says it was recently updated, and I didn't realize this, where now stake and ward leaders are able to update callings and whatnot directly in the app, which is great because then things can happen in real time. So it allows members the ability to understand who's in what callings and whatnot when they need people. Um, there's a whole family section. I thought this was interesting. It shows a member's spouse and children, including those who may be deceased or living outside the household. It said this can help leaders better understand family connections outside their unit. This new feature can also help spouses remember their wedding anniversaries. I thought that was so funny. I'm like, oh, honey, if you need the LDS Tools app to remember our anniversary, we are maybe not going to speak tonight. Let's.
We have perhaps bigger issues, but I
Yes.
mean, but a great, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
particularly useful, I suppose. Thank
Yeah.
you, LDS
Yeah.
Tools app. It is my wedding day.
Exactly. It has an area to track government certifications. So, like, if you have done training for like being able to work with children and that sort
Mhm.
of thing, that will be in there. Anyway, just a lot of new features where members can select specific ward or branches using introduce friends to the missionaries, where it helps to ensure that people are being connected with missionaries in the right area, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought that was cool. I think it's great when they can update those sorts of things. There's also a new tile within the app that directly links to the church's online donation website for paying tithing and fast offerings, which is great and super useful. So, kind of a great update. I need to make sure my app is updated to see that
Make
it's,
sure it is. Are
yeah.
you, I'm obsessive with updating my apps. So I have this thing that I do before I go to bed where I have to check to make sure that all my apps are updated. Then I have to check to make sure that my phone is updated. Then I have to check how much is on my credit card. Then I have to check how much is on in my my bank account. And then I have to make sure that I set the alarm for the next day. It is literally the routine. Is it OCD? You bet it is.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That I'm pretty much opposite of that. I
Okay.
don't know if things are updated. I hope that they magically update themselves, so I don't
hmm
ever have to worry about it.
hmm
And, 9 times out of 10, when something does update and my phone isn't working, my husband is so frustrated because he has to fix it for me because,
Right.
anyway, so I think I have most of my apps like automatically updating if they're able to, but
You
I
actually have no
do,
idea. I can tell.
I have
No.
no idea.
Yeah.
No. So that's my routine. My routine is I'm going to put my phone on the charger and it
Sure.
pretend it doesn't exist for the next 8 hours and hope it doesn't wake me up. But
You'll find out years from now, in 100 years when your husband passes, but you stick around because you're the woman, and that's how life goes as far as that your husband was sneaking onto your phone and updating everything. It'll be one of the things that you took for granted. Oh,
yes,
I just thought this happened. And from
yeah,
the other
it's
side, he'll be like, "No, I did it."
I was doing that. No, I've actually had to make my children all commit to like when I'm old and dad is gone, you guys need to come to my house and make sure I can turn the TV on and
Mm.
that my things are updated and my computer because I want nothing to do with any of that.
Hmm.
So, you know,
You just
I'm
move in with the kids.
well,
You've taken them enough places. One of them, you can guilt at least one of them into taking care of you.
it's true. No,
Yeah.
it's true. At least two of them have offered that they would
Yeah.
love for me to live with them someday. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I would.
I with my mom rejects the idea. With my dad, I've said if my stepmom passes, I'm
Mhm.
just going to sell your home and move you into my house because this is
Okay.
the house that he was raised in. And I said,
Oh,
there's something sort of beautiful about that. And he said, I don't want to live with you, son. And I said, too bad.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not
No,
putting you in a home. You can live here.
seriously. Yeah, we're actually kind of dealing with that right now. My husband is in St. George right now dealing with his ailing mom, and
Mm.
we're all trying to decide like what happens with his dad if his mom passes. And really the only one of us that has a home that he could live in would be us. But that would
Yeah,
mean him moving to Arizona. The
which
other
he
brother,
will.
yeah, I love my father-in-law and I would be more than happy for him to move in with us. So we'll see. I don't know,
Yeah.
but maybe.
I'm in a way, it's sort of like one of the most honorable things that you can do, the most honorable, difficult things that you can do,
Yeah.
if that's what a family member needs. Whether
Yeah.
it's, your sister and her husband pass away and then you have to take their kids and step into something like that, or your mom dies and your dad is still around, or your dad dies and your mom's still around, or whatever those things are. It's one of the most like honorable ways to like step into family. It doesn't make it any easier.
Right, right, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
I wanted to talk about this just because I thought it was interesting. It's brief and it's something we can talk about very quickly. The tabernacle, 175 years of the tabernacle being dedicated. It was dedicated, that's right, on October 9th. Oh, yeah, 150 years. I'm sorry, I said 175. 150 years, October 9th, 1875, by then Elder John Taylor of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, later served as president. It was dedicated and set apart for the purpose of praise, thanksgiving, and worship of the Most High God. People gathered for general conferences there until 2000 when the conference center was dedicated. Fun fact, there used to be a baptismal font in the bottom of the tabernacle. It is now where the like choir offices are. But my grandfather, when he was baptized a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, baptized in the tabernacle.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, pretty cool. Not at all there so that you could go and see it, but
Yeah, it's too
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
I thought it was interesting. It said 12 presidents of the United States have spoken from the pulpit, as well as Susan B. Anthony, Charles Lindbergh, Helen Keller, and many other prominent people. I don't think I had any idea that it was used for anything other than conference and music and the spoken word. Like,
Hmm.
I think I don't know why I didn't know that, but very cool.
Yeah, and it's interesting as I put that into 2025. Can you imagine? And I don't want to place this at the feet of Trump, but if Trump or if Biden had spoken from the tabernacle, the church would lose its mind either
Oh,
way.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, I
It's just a
cannot see that.
it is a different time. I want to
Yes.
say the most recent one was Kennedy, but I don't know. Uh, recent United States president sorry, Googling it while we chat because I want to get you to speak in the tabernacle. I want to make sure I get the right information. I want to say it was Kennedy, maybe
Okay.
Nixon. Hold on, it's coming. No,
Okay.
Carter. Okay.
Oh,
With the
wow.
number of recent presidents visiting Utah, it was President Jimmy Carter on November 27th, 1978. There will
Wow.
be a link for that in the show notes so you can actually listen to that talk that he gave. Pretty cool. And you can listen to President Kennedy and most of the other ones there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very recently, in fact, around right before General Conference, I saw there was a big YouTuber who visited the tabernacle. I don't know how, you know how these things pop up on your Instagram and you don't know why.
Hmm.
It popped up and I'm like, does anyone know who this is? And my kids are like, yeah, and he's some guy from Australia, this
Duh,
black.
mom.
Yeah, I'm like, and I look him up. He's got like 10 million followers, and he kind of got ushered out of the tabernacle because he was trying to film a big bit in there or whatever. But then they had him outside, and the missionaries were so excited to see him. He's not LDS or anything, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like it's a cool place for people to go. So,
And currently they're redoing all the organs,
yeah,
doing all the different parts. They're looking at literally every part of every pipe and everything to make sure that when we get to the dedication of the Salt Lake Temple, we can have big organ concerts. And if you've never been, once it is renovated, if you've never been to an organ concert at a place with like a real organ,
yeah,
oh my gosh,
powerful, like
yes,
incredible.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, conference center is real cool.
Mhm.
Nothing like the Tabernacle. If you get a chance.
You know, as you say that, I growing up and when I was in college, the tabernacle was everything. Like it was such a like it's conference, it's the tabernacle choir, it's the organ, and I'm like, my kids don't know that. Like they only know the conference center. And of
Hmm.
course we've seen the tabernacle, but it's never been a big thing to them. Well, I remember going to it for the first time and hearing the pin drop and all of the things. And I need to make sure that I make sure my kids go to that and see how incredible it is.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Um. What else do we want? All the rest of the stuff's pretty heavy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say things are heavy. I mean, something not super heavy was in El Salvador, the church in September donated water to over 9,000 children in the public schools to help with the clean water crisis. I don't know, it actually is super eye-opening. 1 billion people suffer from disease and thirst because of lack of access to clean water. And so I appreciate that that's something that we are really helping with and helping in these countries that need it.
And continuing to do more with it and being able to lean on organizations that I think for a long time, not just the church, but a lot of organizations would be like, we're going to fix this. And so we'd go in and we'd have really great intentions and we'd build a well, but they didn't know how to fix the well when when it broke down. And so we didn't actually do well, pun intended,
Yeah.
by the people there in town. But being able to partner with organizations that can say, this is the thing that will really move the needle for these people, that we're doing it, that we're getting people on board to do it, that we're, having missionaries do it, that we're sharing the experiences and the testimonies from the people that are doing it. I think it's pretty tremendous. So
Yeah. Yeah.
kudos to the church doing that.
Yeah. I just love all the different areas of humanitarian aid that the church is able to help with. And I think yeah, like you said, getting those countries and helping them with the tools to continue that is really, really amazing.
And then adjacent to that, we can share this from a couple weeks ago. Newborn baby packs. What's a newborn baby pack, you ask? Well, it's filled with diapers, wipes, lotion, clothing, bottles, and other essentials for children 0 to 5. They gave 111 newborn baby packs on the Cook Islands. And again, just one of these opportunities to be able to literally change those 111 lives, that they're able to receive those things that they don't have
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah. Love it.
Lastly, this is interesting. I think we might have talked about this a little bit before, but Nathan Lewis studied the biological roots of autism at the University of California, San Diego, has 3 autistic children of his own, had wondered before about how one's unique genetic makeup can affect his or her worship experience. And when his ward Sunday school presidency began discussing types of teacher council meetings that would be helpful for parents, he felt inspired to take the lead on a council for parents of teachers with neurodivergent children. And so the article goes, and you can read more about it. But what I love is I think that once upon a time in the church, and just as a society, we said, we teach this way, we do this, and everyone said, that's the way we do it. And now we realize you're different and I'm different, and and different isn't you're different, it's you're different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
neurodivergent is different than, autoimmune, and autoimmune is different than whatever the thing may be. And we're really trying to have the gospel be available for everyone. So
Yep.
I think that's pretty tremendous.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hope that this episode has nourished and strengthened your body.
And if you weren't able to listen this week, hopefully you'll be able to listen next week.
Yeah, nice work. You got there almost. And then when the time comes, you'll be able to travel home in safety. In the meantime, go Tar Heels. Chris at Alpine Lakes Travel, Debbie Wanless, Chocolate Cake Bites Podcast, and the Tiger with a U will be saving a seat for you
On the back row
of the Cultural Hall.
Save me a seat, it's sure to be neat on the back row